Till the seats arrive, they'll settle for just a square foot of the Kop, the most famous football terrace in the world. The Kop filling up tonight for Liverpool against Norwich, FA Cup fourth round replay, goalless on Sunday, but promising much tonight. Whatever the changes, the magic and indeed the tension of the Cup will remain.
Norwich goalkeeper Brian Gunn, named today in Scotland's preparatory World Cup squad, has kept 3 consecutive clean sheets here at Anfield. But to extend that record tonight, he and Norwich City have to fight the FA Cup form book. Liverpool have not lost a home replay in this competition since 1969, when Leicester won here 1-0. And the older fans might remember a 19-year-old goalkeeper called Peter Shilton putting up the shutters on that occasion. Well, 21 years on, the modern Liverpool announce an unchanged side from Sunday. Ian Rush with 18 goals, Barnes with 15 and Beardsley with 12 have scored 45 times between them this season. But perhaps Liverpool's best effort at Norwich came from number 4 Steve Nicol, also named by Andy Roxburgh today. And Norwich's top scorer Robert Fleck is also in that Scottish party of 28. The Canaries had an injury doubt about number 2 Ian Culverhouse, but he passed a late test, so it's the same 13 as on Sunday. Culverhouse, in fact, the only Norwich survivor from their last FA Cup visit here when they lost 5-0 in 1986. Well, it's been raining just before kick-off. Liverpool attacking the Kop end in the first half, the FA Cup holders. And the prize, a home tie against Southampton for the winners of this one in round 5. Here's Whelan. Beardsley. Barnes. Rosario for Norwich. Nicol for Liverpool. Staunton. Rush. Too much pace on the ball for him and for Linnigan, really. This is Beardsley. Oh, he's gone round. Nicely by Beardsley. Finally the corner given away by Culverhouse to stop Beardsley. Pulled back to McMahon. Whelan. And Beardsley stayed very wide. 4 in the middle for the cross for Liverpool. And this is Whelan. Beardsley figuring in the opening Liverpool assault. And pulling that one right back for Ronnie Whelan to shoot across the goal. This is Bowen for Norwich. Norwich have had 4 away wins in the First Division this season, all fairly solid performances too. Here's Rosario. Phillips. Bowen again. Phillips. It's Barnes' mistake. Fleck comes inside for Norwich and shoots just wide. And the Norwich fans behind that goal just thought for a moment they were on their way into the lead. Barnes initially slipped up there in a defensive position. Even then, Liverpool hesitated. And Robert Fleck, who always takes his shots early, nipped in front of them there. And they wouldn't be very pleased with that defending. Barnes with Culverhouse at his heels, as he was a lot on Sunday, but Barnes this time turns away. McMahon. And again Barnes. Now it's opening up a bit for Liverpool. This is Beardsley, and that's a terrific challenge as he shot. Ian Butterworth. Vital. And what could have been a goal is only a corner. Which Beardsley will take. Hussein. Rush! Rush again. Beardsley, they're still in the middle waiting. Venison. Wide again, Whelan. Hussein still forward. And Norwich survive again. Well, this was a lovely little move. Barnes from McMahon slid it through to Beardsley, but watch the defender, number 4. He had real ground to make up, but it was his deflection, Butterworth. He played the captain's part there. That's Rosario. It's always worth watching Rosario's strength in the air. This is Venison to McMahon. Oh, and Venison runs on ahead of McMahon. And McMahon's shot hits Butterworth. And Venison again. And now Nicol. And it's Ian Crook with Gordon going to his right. Good sure touch by Beardsley, lovely return to him by Barnes. Rush in the middle waiting, so is Nicol. Still Beardsley, Rushman, Nicol! Yes, it's a goal! Stevie Nicol. And at last, there's daylight in this cup tie. And Norwich's proud run at Anfield is broken by Kenny Dalglish's team, who beat Brian Gunn at long last. And he could do nothing about it, the goalkeeper. The move was quite superb. Beardsley picked it up from Barnes on the left-hand side and Drew Linnigan. The drilled cross, Rush not quite there, Nicol made no mistake. 18 minutes gone, Liverpool 1, Norwich City 0. Well, it's worth seeing again because it was such a good goal. The start was good too from Barnes, but Beardsley, he was so aware of who was in there. Rush couldn't make it, but look at Nicol. It wasn't the easiest ball to take when you see it again, but he made no error. Rosario, Fleck, and offside, is he, Gordon? Yes. Crook. So now Norwich, having held Liverpool for so long, find themselves behind. And with 20 minutes gone, it's David Phillips. Fleck is waiting in the centre here. Fleck! It's the equaliser! 2 minutes later, Norwich are back, and it's Robert Fleck, their top scorer. And they're delighted. And David Phillips makes the goal. He too had a good run down the left. Another good cross, and it was slid through Grobbelaar by the man who was named by Andy Roxburgh today as an uncapped player in the Scotland pre-World Cup party. Well, it's the old adage about when you've just scored, you're sometimes vulnerable. You wouldn't apply it very often to Liverpool, I would have to say. But it certainly worked for Norwich. The little ball in, I think Glenn Hussein must have slipped, and Fleck tucked it away nicely. Gordon. Rosario. Fleck in the middle. Gordon again. Chance for Norwich. And Dale Gordon misses an opportunity to put them in front. Fleck to his left thought he should have had the ball, but they were both in a good shooting position, to be honest. And Rosario got behind Staunton. It was a good ball in from him. Hussein dropped on his knees again, and Gordon put it wide. Norwich seem to be relishing the Anfield atmosphere. They're playing their own brand of football and playing it pretty well at present. It's 1-1, and Rush is trying to shake them off. Here's Nicol. Phillips got a foot in, and it was an important foot. So was that from Whelan. There's his Nicol again. Barnes! Well, Culverhouse came in behind him. It was a good cross from Steve Nicol, and Barnes' header was over. In by Townsend, Fleck's dummy, got it back from Rosario, and Fleck shoots wide. But Norwich won't be complaining about their shot count. They've had a number of efforts in this first half. And many teams come to Anfield and don't get a chance to come out like this and play. Crook with the first time ball. They're making the Liverpool defenders work really hard at times. Hussain. Whelan. Beardsley. Whelan again now. Glenn Hussain's continued his run in the centre. This is Barnes. There is Hussain. And this is Rush. Beardsley! Oh, good save! He got down well, Brian Gunn, because that was a good strike from Peter Beardsley of England. Barnes with the cross. Glenn Hussain sets up the chance really in a way. It came back off Rush, and that was going in. Well, a half which was played at a cracking pace. The Scotsman made the news. Steve Nicol scored for Liverpool on 18 minutes. Robert Fleck equalised 2 minutes later. And right on half-time, Brian Gunn, who has done so well here in the past, made an important save. Liverpool 1, Norwich City 1. When in the light of the Hillsborough tragedy and the Taylor report, seats are installed at the Kop end, it will reduce the capacity up there from 16,000 to 10,000. And in theory, that would bring the Anfield ground ceiling down to 33,000. But Liverpool are hoping to develop the Kemlyn Road stand on the far side, possibly doing that first. And if they did, then it would give them a capacity nearer to the 39,000, which is where it stands at present. Well, the biggest compliment at this stage you could pay Norwich City over these two games is that it's almost like watching Liverpool play Liverpool at times. Their slick, swift, stylish passing is so similar. And the long ball merchants might say there's not always anything on the end of it, but it's very pleasing to the eye. And that's an offside decision, which isn't so pleasing. It's more like the football that we'll probably see in the World Cup in Italy, with the ball played to feet. This is Culverhouse, Rosario, Barnes. That's a good pass to Rush. It beat Linegan for once. Ian Rush, who had scored 11 goals in 11 games before Sunday, I must say has been a little off-key, although Barnes found him well there in these two cup ties up to now. It's always dangerous to ride him off in any game, but, well, that one was safe for Gunn. That's Rosario, this is Fleck. Barnes and Staunton exchanging passes. Beardsley's header, nice one. Lovely touch by Beardsley, really cushioned it. Gets it back from Barnes. Nicol out wide on the other side. Takes on Bowen. And Phillips in the way. Norwich still not giving an inch. Beardsley. Foul. It's Butterworth. Back in play, is it? No, Keith Hackett says that's still to be put in the right place. So, Venison, Hussein, and Gunn was brave at the feet of Nicol. Those two Scots seem to have be almost fated to come into contention in this cup match. Glenn Hussein got in here with a useful header, and when it dropped off the defender, Gunn came down to Nicol's feet, having saved so well from him on Sunday and having been beaten by him earlier tonight. Here's Staunton. Rush. Oh, that was a shove by Rush. Won't get away with that. And Dave Stringer and David Williams down there on the left of, as we look, of the Norwich bench. Their team really extending Liverpool in this cup match. Up goes Rosario. So Liverpool get the free kick. And Hussein makes his way forward again, marked by Rosario on this side, and it's harmless. Liverpool unbeaten for 12 games now, 6 wins and 6 draws, and they're only defeated Anfield this season by Coventry City 1-0. Forward by Crook. There goes Fleck. Grobbelaar started to come and went back, and Fleck and Hansen, and off Hansen in fact in the end. It's Crook. It's still a very even match. Not just in terms of the score, but in terms of the way the play is going. Beardsley. Barnes. Nicol. And the defending over the 2 games up to now has also been of quite a high order. There have been very few bad errors at the back, and that's what's essentially kept the score down so much. On by Rosario, Fleck, and still, Nicol, up to Rush, into Beardsley, it'll have to go right again, Rush, now they're coming from the left, Whelan, Barnes, Beardsley shorter, here he is. Got bustled out of it really by Ian Crook, and here's Dale Gordon for Norwich, Hansen for Liverpool, and Beardsley picks it up again. A longer ball this time. Barnes! Yes! And that's the real long ball that counts. Because the vision which Kenny Dalglish's team showed there, and Peter Beardsley in particular, was of such a high order that he picked Barnes out, and the flying header, one of the goals that you'll always remember. John Barnes scores it, 16th of the season for him. 2-1 to Liverpool on the night, 56 minutes gone. And it only needed one little lapse in Norwich's concentration to leave half a yard for Barnes, and Beardsley put the ball in exactly the right place. Crook. Well, that's one of the goals that the Liverpool fans themselves will want to look back on with some pleasure. And again, a player who's effectively playing on the flank gets into the penalty area from the other side to make the telling contribution. And here it is again. Beardsley measured to perfection. Barnes got away from Culverhouse, but how well he placed the header down past Gunn's left hand. The goalkeeper had no opportunity to save that. This is Gordon, and Liverpool were careless there. Needed, well, initially venison, but they were careless again. Rosario. Oh, and Crook. Real danger. Corner, well, Liverpool 3 times could have had that ball away, and 3 times they gave it back to Norwich. This tie is by no means over. Now then, Butterworth is up, Linnigan is up. Gordon to take the corner. It's coming back to Culverhouse. Danger here. Linnigan comes in, and Alan Hansen blocked him. Or blocked what he was trying to do anyway. Here's Phillips. Rosario. Fleck. Well, you really wouldn't rule Norwich out at this stage. Never been to the FA Cup final, Norwich City, in their history. Liverpool have been there in 3 of the last 4. Rush. Handball. Not much is going right for him at the moment. Whelan plays a lovely 1-2 with Nicol. Oh, look at this. Beardsley just a yard ahead of him. Oh, he's still got it. Beardsley. Penalty. Penalty given. Norwich protest to the referee, but Keith Hackett didn't hesitate. Beardsley got the penalty for Liverpool. Andy Linnigan is the defender. He pulls him down from behind, and it's a penalty to Liverpool. Now, Liverpool this season have had 5 different penalty takers, would you believe, and 3 of them have missed. So the responsibility here is for Peter Beardsley himself. The Norwich fans behind the goal are trying to put him off. He's talking to Keith Hackett. 3-1, emphatic. And Beardsley has made 2 and scored 1, and had every confidence in where he was going to put that ball. Andy Linnigan disappointed in the decision, but in actual fact, he looked as though he was going to get the ball away, and then it kind of bounced back in Beardsley's favour. But way back in that move, you've got to say that the 1-2 that was played earlier, I think it was Whelan and Nicol from memory, was quite outstanding, and that was a little clash between McMahon and Gordon, which just shows that the temperature's rising a bit. You'd need to go back a little way in that move to appreciate the quality of the football that put Beardsley in the position from which he eventually got a penalty kick. Good long kick by Grobbelaar, that's Linnigan. McMahon to Barnes. Staunton, oh what a great ball! McMahon! Outside of the netting there. Lovely pass from Steve Staunton, who's in contention for a World Cup spot with the Republic of Ireland. He knew where McMahon was going and he put the ball exactly where he wanted to. Rosario, Townsend. And still Norwich play their football. Phillips. Rosario, Fleck. Rosario. And Liverpool needing plenty of forces back there. This is Beardsley to Rush, and if he can get it inside to Beardsley, it could be on. That's a good attempt to do so, and it was a fine volley by the goalkeeper. But Rush saw where Beardsley was, and it was Brian Gunn who thumped the ball out. Another incisive attack. Venison to Whelan. Here's Staunton. Culverhouse. There's a good run off the ball by Crook. And Norwich working it well again. Linnigan. Rosario. He's got through here, but sometimes he's finishing not quite up to the standard of the rest of his game, Robert Rosario. He's worked hard over these two matches to find space. And quite sure he meant that, but still. Here's Bowen, still finding their men accurately. Crook. Bowen, oh, here's Dale Gordon, and Rosario had a real chance. Ronnie Whelan, I think it was, who actually got a tackle in as he was about to shoot. But this is not over. Phillips. Hussein. Still, Norwich carry the fight forward. Butterworth now taking up the near post position for the corner, number 4. Rosario, Fleck! Well, even since Liverpool made it 3-1, Norwich have had opportunities. Rosario had a chance, Fleck wasn't so far away there. And there's going to be a substitution by Liverpool. In fact, Steve Staunton at left-back has been taken off and replaced by David Burrows, the man who he's really been competing with for that position in the team. Number 14. Rush. Here's Beardsley. Barnes. And again, oh, that's nicely done with Burrows. Side netting from David Burrows. Offside given, Beardsley. Well, the first match was eminently watchable. The second match was highly stimulating. And Peter Beardsley made the difference between the two teams. He made 2 goals, claimed a penalty from which he scored for the third. And the turning point in the match was his ball delivered brilliantly for John Barnes to head a goal that will be enjoyed many times over as people look back on the road to Wembley. Liverpool put pay to the challenge of Norwich City, who take great credit for the way they performed in both matches. With a final score of Liverpool 3, Norwich 1, means the holders are into the 5th round, where they will meet Southampton here at Anfield.
Well, you've gone 13 games unbeaten now. Is the team playing as well as you think you can, or do you think you can still get better?
I don't think you ever think you've reached the peak of your performances. I think the lads can get better, and I'm not saying that to try and be clever. I'm saying that because I honestly believe it. I think they'll gain in confidence, and I think if they gain in confidence, well, obviously they'll play better. And we're happy with where they're playing at the moment. We're happy with their commitment and their attitude. But I think they're a little bit more confidence in the way the people got behind us tonight and helped us forward and helped us to get a result. That'll help the lads, because it doesn't matter how good they are. They need help from the people that come and watch, and they need to feel wanted by them. They get out on the pitch and they want to do their best, and they try their best. And the people that come and watch us are every bit as important to us as anybody that's wearing a red shirt. And they're influential as well, because they give them the confidence to go out and play.
Now, you mentioned the fans there, and obviously you lived through the horror of the Hillsborough disaster, and everybody thought that you and the players conducted yourselves with great dignity there. You've seen this Taylor report this week. What do you feel about the all-seater stadiums?
Well, I think if you say putting a seat in the ground for someone to sit in helps them to behave themselves, why don't they behave at school? I mean, at the end of the day, they need an education, but they've got to be educated. Discipline comes from the home. When I was a kid, I went to football and I stood at the terraces. And there's thousands of others. I mean, people who are involved in the game, they all started by going to watch football and standing in the terraces. I'm not a hooligan. I never caused any trouble. So does that mean I'm deprived of something that I want to do? The people that come and stand in our place are from the whole spectrum of the society. I mean, Hillsborough was something we hope never ever happens again. But through that, we got to meet a lot of people that we'd probably never meet before. And I've met people, pensioners, a lady and a man over 60 years of age who go and stand there every week, stand in the same spot. I mean, behaviour isn't going to be dictated to by people because they're sitting down. I think if everybody continues to be as helpful and cooperative and with the same outlook as what they've had for the last couple of years, I think really football's going to take a step forward. And I think we should be optimistic rather than pessimistic.
Thanks, Kenny.